Hey everyone, welcome back to Glass Seats. This is Viddy.
And my name is Mrinal. And on this episode, we have to talk about the head coach carousel.
Oh yeah.
A lot of teams have fired their head coaches, and consequently, a lot of teams have hired new head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And because the NHL likes to recycle the same 30, 35 guys, a lot of coaches are just moving around positions.
It just blows my mind. It's a fraternity here.
Yeah. We'll talk about it in this episode because we got a lot of new coaching hires, and we thought we'd just group them all.
Yeah.
Let's talk coaching for a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Let's start out in the biggest market. Toronto hires Craig Berube to be the new head coach of the Maple Leafs after firing Sheldon Keefe.
Mm-hmm.
Berube was most recently the head coach of the St. Louis Blues, has a .584 win percentage in the NHL, and has won the Stanley Cup with St. Louis in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on this hire?
I like it. We've seen time and time again that Toronto knows how to get it done in the regular season and does not know how to get it done in the playoffs. The one team they've beaten since 2004 was a team that went to 3 straight cup finals. So, they needed a coach that just won't tolerate bullshit, and this is the guy, I think. And even, again, this is whatever I've seen on Reddit. A lot of St. Louis fans are upset that they let go of Craig Berube so quickly. Guy's a good coach. And I think the mentality he has or he possesses is needed for this Toronto core because it's not happening. And let's be real. And, until Mitch Marner actually waives his no trade clause, there's no guarantee that he's actually getting traded this season or off season. Sorry. So I like it. I think this is a good kick to the soul if you think about it.
Can I play a quick devil's advocate?
Okay.
What if people say that Craig Berube's cup came off of the fact that Jordan Binnington was insanely hot that year?
I'm sure he was. But don't you need that? Don't you need a hot goalie to win a cup?
Sure, but Toronto so far has not had that. Right. So what is the indicator for Berube's success here?
Right. I mean, sure. You do need a goalie that is good, and I think this is more of the overall mentality needs to switch in the playoffs for the Maple Leafs. I was clear. Like I said, they can get it done in the regular season. It's just the playoffs where I can't think of a better way of saying it other than it's soft. There's been so many plays where I'm like, you gotta be better here. You gotta be grittier here.
It's like when teams game plan for them, they just can't break through that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Berube is gonna, more than anything, bring a mindset shift to Toronto. And I think that is truly what will get them somewhat over the hump. We can hope at least. So the goalie situation is completely, that's still a X factor here, but I think this will at least address the mentality part. So
okay, yeah, I think you're right in that it makes sense for the type of coach they need and the type of problem they were having.
Yeah.
So best of luck to Toronto next year, but hopefully this is what finally breaks your curse.
Yeah. Nope.
All right, let's move on to Carolina, who extends head coach Rod Brind'Amour for 5 years.
I'm surprised.
I am too, honestly.
Yeah, I thought...
No, and not because Rod Brind'Amour is a bad coach.
Yeah.
But Carolina has been beating his head against the wall for a few years now.
Yeah.
They got back-to-back swept in the conference final and now went down 3-0 in the second round.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won 2 games, but too little too late.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised that they didn't that this wasn't a firing just to shake things up, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And again, like you said, not that he's a bad coach or anything, but 5 years is a long time.
That is a long time.
That is a long term.
To be fair, it means nothing. They could fire him whenever.
Right. Right. Sure. But I think it's so. What you could also argue here is how many times did the Lightning fail over and over with John Cooper until they didn't, right? So maybe are they just going all in on Rod Brind'Amour and hoping that he brings them to the promised land? Is that what the strat here is?
Yeah, but then I hope you're changing something on the roster.
Right.
Because the Lightning changed the roster around.
Right? They were healthy this year. Or sorry, the Hurricanes were healthy this year.
That was the thing. In the past couple of years, they had some major injury or the other that they could say, okay, maybe it's that. But this year, mostly everyone was healthy. Yeah, a few guys played through some crazy stuff like always. Yeah. But they were playing. Even Seth Jarvis, who had crazy injuries, had record numbers this year. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think you can blame injuries this year.
No.
So I hope you're changing something. Like there have been rumors around Marty Nietzsche's leaving. Hoping the goaltender might change because Freddie Anderson kind of boofed it in the last couple games there.
Yeah.
So I hope something changes in Carolina because if you're keeping this coach, you need some juice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I I'm going to guess this is just going all in on the coach and hoping that something works out. And then we're going to sit here and marvel about how great of a coach Rod Brindamore is, the same way we do with John Cooper. So
Yep. It only takes one cup, and then suddenly you're a great coach.
Yep. And the narrative changes literally overnight. So, yeah.
We shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about a coach that desperately wants a cup. Lindy Ruff.
Yeah.
Hired by the Buffalo Sabres. Ruff was most recently the head coach of the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
But he has been coaching in the NHL for forever now.
Yeah.
He also has a .552 win percentage in his NHL career.
Yeah.
But no cups.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know what to make of Buffalo anymore. I'm going to be honest here.
This feels a little like throwing spaghetti at the wall, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the reason he's back is because the last time they were in the playoffs is he was at the helm. And it seems like they've exhausted all the options here. But like Buffalo has exhausted all the options here. Like, let's just try to go back to see what works.
What do you mean exhausted all the... we're going to get to this later. I have a little literal list of all the head coaches that are available.
I'm more so talking about like just, after 13 years of not making the playoffs, they're just like, let's go back to something that was somewhat familiar, that somewhat worked. I think that's really what they're trying to go for here. I think it's just, they're just so far down the rabbit hole that they're like, try something that maybe worked.
Nobody knows what's happening, basically. We're throwing spaghetti at the wall at this point.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I was like, I don't know what to make of the Buffalo Sabres anymore.
I mean, looking at Lindy Ruff's recent track record, they might make the playoffs 1 year and then tank again.
Is that, I mean, in Buffalo, is that not progress after 13 years of missing?
I guess.
So, yeah. And I guess on theory, on paper, their team looks good, but I don't know.
They need their picks to make another step, right?
Yeah.
Like Dahlin and Owen Power have been good, but not like game-breaking good.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see that in the next couple of years. It took a couple of years for Loft to develop too, right? In the Rangers.
True.
Yeah. I don't know.
We shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles removes the interim tag from coach Jim Hiller.
Mm-hmm.
He is now the head coach.
Yeah. No, not much to say. Yeah.
I'm mid on this one.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like LA should have had a better season.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think they got bigger problems to worry about with the PLD contract and everything, right?
Yeah. So maybe it's they're planning on changing the roster, so they just want the coach to stay the same type of thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't impress me either way, and Edmonton took care of them pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess he'll give him another swing at it.
Sure. Yeah.
But if LA doesn't make beyond the first round next year, I wouldn't expect him to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interim, or they removed the interim tag now, but who knows? Like he might very well get canned next year. So
yeah. Another questionable one, in my opinion. Travis Green, hired by the Ottawa Senators.
I also don't know what the Senators are doing anymore. I don't know.
Green was most recently the several years head coach in Vancouver.
Yeah.
He was the interim head coach in New Jersey for the end of the season after they fired Lindy Ruff. Has a .473 win percentage in the NHL. This is just like what I said in the beginning, because apparently there's only like 35 guys.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, right?
Yeah.
It's just I don't know what to make of it. Management probably sees something in this guy that is like, okay, let's give it a shot. And I'm not a GM. I am a literal armchair GM right now. So I can't speak any better, but sure, let's try it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still don't know how to fix this team, really. This is in the same page with Buffalo, right? Like, and we've talked about it before.
Yeah, but Ottawa, I feel like, is a little closer. I have more hope for Ottawa than I do for Buffalo, just because, they've changed the GM, they've changed the ownership, and then they got bogged down by Shane Pinto being out half the season and those things. If they can just get a quiet season, I think we'll see some more potential.
Got it. Okay.
We could see something like Detroit this year where they get close, but maybe don't make it.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what I'm expecting from Ottawa. Travis Green being the coach, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We saw what Vancouver's capable of this year, and they never did that with Travis Green.
Yeah, that's kind of also where I'm going with.
I guess you can count the COVID season, but I don't count that.
No.
COVID season was so wild.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, even the Coyotes were in the playoffs that year, I think. So.
Yeah, it was just all over the place.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, sure. That's all I have to say, sure.
Yeah. Enjoy your spaghetti on the wall.
Yeah.
New Jersey hires Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah,
fired by Toronto, so goes to New Jersey.
Yeah, he wasn't unemployed for very long.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some fantastic regular seasons. Like, yes, the playoffs haven't been there.
Yeah.
But for someone like New Jersey, I could see, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Keefe worked well with star players. I liked, if you guys watched the Amazon series, behind the scenes series with the Toronto Maple Leafs, I liked his approach. He doesn't really seem like the fire and brimstone guy like Berube or John Tortorella is.
Yeah.
But he seems like I'm going to talk. I'm very technically skilled type of coach. And, I don't know why. I'm just getting a vibe it fits in Jersey.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I think it's way too early to tell. But
it's just vibes.
Me. Just the vibes. Yeah. I mean, if Jersey needs to get to the playoffs, which obviously they do, but they've proven at least that they were able to take down the Rangers in 7 and with a pretty dominant win too. So maybe they just literally need to get to the playoffs and the players can take it from there. So,
I more I think about it, I know what the vibe is. Keefe represented consistency in the regular season.
Yeah.
And I think New Jersey could use that. They
Jersey did not have
bounces of make the playoffs, miss the playoffs, make the playoffs, miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think Keefe can stabilize that a little bit. And the playoff success, maybe we'll look at what happens now when they have some stability of, okay, is it the roster? Is it the coaching? Is it the approach?
Yeah.
You can actually answer those questions. But right now, you have no data to go off of. You're just bouncing around, right?
Yeah.
So, maybe this is just a litmus test.
That's probably it. That's probably the extra 2 years too, right?
Yeah, that too. They gave him a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
Which is long for a new coach. So we'll see.
Yeah. A lot of we'll sees.
Yep. I mean, we'll have to wait till the next season starts. But out of all these coaches, I think the ones we've agreed with are Sheldon Keefe and Craig Berube.
Yeah. I mean, I can kind of see what they're doing with Lindy Ruff, but also at the same time, what the hell are you guys doing?
I mean, that's just, I feel like Buffalo could have done anything. I would have been like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Buffalo and Ottawa. Not sure what to make of it, but you know what? You guys do you.
All right. So to wrap up, there are 3 teams that still need a head coach: the San Jose Sharks, the Seattle Kraken, and the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
A few names that are available that are former NHL head coaches. Of course, they could hire someone not in the NHL, but history tells us that's not common. So some big names like Gerard Gallant, Todd McLellan, Jay Woodcroft are available. Other ones that aren't as big but might be interesting are Dave Haxtell, David Quinn, and then a few others who have just coached one team.
Mm-hmm.
But do you see any matches here between the 3 teams and the available coaches?
I could honestly, I could see Gerard Gallant going to Seattle. I don't know. Like he did well with the new expansion with Vegas, right? He took him to the finals in the first season. He had some success with the Rangers too. Seattle is good. Their consistency also just kind of killed that team this year, almost like the Devils of the West, right? Where consistency killed them, and they are. They can do some damage in the playoffs. They've shown that last season. So maybe they just needed a change of pace, and Gerard's the guy. So
I was gonna say Gallant going to Winnipeg.
To Winnipeg. Okay.
Winnipeg is a team that is built and is ready to compete.
I could see that too, actually, yeah.
I don't expect Winnipeg to make major roster changes. They made a few this past season, and their roster honestly looked good. They just fell apart against Colorado because the coaching, in my opinion, didn't match up.
Yeah.
Bednar outcoached Rick Bowness, in my opinion. So seeing someone like Gallant, who is a strong coach, has had success with teams that are built well.
Yeah.
I could honestly see a good match with Winnipeg there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of combinations you can make here, but again, time will tell.
The one I see for Seattle is Todd McLellan.
Really?
Just to finish his tour of the Pacific.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Todd McLellan has now coached San Jose, Edmonton, and the Kings.
Got it. He stays on the West Coast only. Got it. Okay, fair enough.
But also, Todd McLellan is another coach that brings stability. So, and I think Seattle could use that, especially in a new market where they're trying to establish themselves.
Yeah.
You saw the stability he brought San Jose that made them the dominant force of the 2010s, honestly.
Yeah.
A lot of that was Todd McLellan.
Yeah. And honestly, Seattle has, sure, it's been 3 years, but it was miss the playoffs, then do surprisingly well in the playoffs, then miss the playoffs again, right? So it's hard to, especially with a new team with only 3 years under the belt, you need consistency.
And if you're looking at it from a business point of view, I think Todd McLellan can stabilize your franchise.
Yeah.
Get you some income, get some consistent good seasons in there.
Yeah. And that would be great for Seattle too.
Yep. So. Let us know what your thoughts are on the head coaching changes around the NHL. We'd love to hear them in the comments below. Drop a like if you like this episode and hit subscribe. We got 3 episodes out every week, so we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.